Hi, everybody. Today is Sunday, December 29th. So only 2 more days in 2024. How fast this year has gone, and a lot of things have happened in this year. And so a lot of people are making resolutions and goals. I do have goals. Normally, I would post them on my social media platforms, but I don't know. I don't think I will do that this for 2025. I do have goals for my small business company, and it will be launched in January. Um, but I don't know if I'm going to list resolutions or goals. But this video is not about that. So happy Kwanzaa. Today is day 4 and the fourth principle. The principle is Ujamaa. Ujamaa. Ujamaa is spelled Ujamaa. I'm sorry, I don't have a sign for you, but it is Ujamaa. Ujamaa. And it is defined as cooperative economics. I mean, that the way that it is done is the principal definition is to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together. So that's like a community. That's what cooperative means. Cooperative economics. So also for the food today, it's another drink. It is a pink party punch. A pink party punch. So an easy thing that you can do when I drink every day, I have fruit punch, Crystal Light, and then add a soda to it, like 7-Up, Sprite, Zevia. You can use Zevia. I know it's backward, but you can use Zevia. Zevia has no sugar in it, but it does have sweetness in there. You have to get used to it, but you can mix that with Crystal Light, and that is a pink, maybe a little bit more red, but it is a punch. So that's an example for you. So let's get into it. So from my perspective, thinking about cooperative economics means our communities. So there are small businesses, and for the most part, women have more small business companies than men do. That's the thing. There are some family small businesses. There are a couple of guys like to be like friends together to build a small business. And so you can see a business over here, over here, over here, over here in some of the neighborhoods in the city that you live in. One restaurant that I really love to go to is Lupe's. Lupe's only has one restaurant. They used to have another restaurant in Huntersville. They built that. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. They built that before I left Charlotte and moved to Kansas City. When I moved back, it was not done. Apparently, it didn't. It didn't get a lot of business. But the original one here in Charlotte is still running. And when I go there, I only buy Tex-Mex chili. I love it. I love it. So that's a family business. Now, Luigi she has passed away, but the restaurant is still running. I don't know how long it's still going to be, but it's been open for 20 years and everything. So I try to support small businesses. But of course, during the holidays that we just passed, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, to support small businesses, particularly in Western North Carolina with the Helene disaster. A lot of small businesses were destroyed. That was particularly Asheville, North Carolina, was a tourist city. And so a lot of things were destroyed, or had a lot of damage on there, and they haven't come back yet. But some restaurants finally got the water back, and so they put that information out, and people went to Asheville and some of the other communities around Asheville to get the business going back and everything, whether they were rebuilding it or if they were going to go ahead and get some food to go, just to get the business set up, but also with the owners thanking them for coming there and everything. So they are back into their place, but it's going to take a long time for it to come back. And so thinking again about the communities that you're in, and like my old video, my day 3 video, I was talking about my intersections. I'm not just a man. I'm not just black. I'm not just gay. I'm not just a senior. Um, you think about all of your communities. I am a senior. I think about AARP with some of the communities here in Charlotte and in North Carolina. I'm a member of SAGE. SAGE is a national organization that helps senior gay people, LGBT people. And as far as I know, it's for what they do and trying to find housing, jobs, and things like that for seniors, even companionship. Someone is older and by themselves. There are people who can go there once or twice a day just to sit down and have a conversation. That is something that we can do in the community. Some of the other things that you can think about, not just restaurants or retail stores, there are nonprofits that you can volunteer to. I'm a member of the Carolinas LGBT Chamber of Commerce. I'm about to be a member of the Black Chamber of Commerce. We need to support these businesses, because if we don't support them, then all our money is going to the major ones. And then do you really think that they care about the people? Probably, or probably not, but they're focusing on their bottom line. And so, and they don't know us. We don't know them. We don't know us. Like, I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon. But does Andy Jassy? Andy Jassy is the CEO of Amazon, not Jeff Bezos. The only connection that Jeff Bezos, who built Amazon and launched Amazon, he's on the board of directors, and he's the chair of the board. He does not have anything to do with the day to day. It's Andy Jassy. I don't even think the media knows who Andy Jassy is, but they have to find out who he is. So, but even with Amazon, a lot of people don't know that the delivery trucks that you see in your neighborhoods, they are not employees of Amazon. They work for a third-party logistic company. That is a small business. That is a small business. Then you can say that, well, if you order something from Amazon, it has to be delivered, and it's going to be delivered in an Amazon truck. But that person who is delivering it, that person is working for a small business. And then that person, the owner of that logistics place, they have to think about all these, and they have that contract with Amazon. And so if we don't order, say I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and if a lot of us decide not to order stuff, then some of those people will lose their jobs. The warehouse people may not lose their job, but the drivers may have their hours cut. They may lose their positions and or the logistics place itself, if they're not getting a lot of money, they may shut down or stop their contract, and say 100 or 200 people have lost their jobs because of the contract, because they're not getting enough money to pay their employees and support their business. Even with me, I am, as I said at the top of the video, I'm going to open a small business company as a notary public. I am a North Carolina commissioned notary public. My business is not going to just be about notary public. I have some things, some services that I am going to launch later in the year, that I don't have to do, that doesn't have to deal with being a notary, but being commissioned and being certified, and particularly my background being background checked, as a wedding officiant, I can officiate weddings. And in North Carolina, notaries can't do the wedding ceremonies. I believe in Georgia, you don't have to be ordained if you are a notary public. You can officiate weddings. Well, in North Carolina, there are rules about that, but it's easier to be an ordained minister to do the wedding officiants. And of course, when someone sees that you are a wedding officiant and you are an officer of North Carolina, as a commissioned notary public, I am an officer of North Carolina. And so I have to make sure that I'm on point and all my T's are crossed, my I's are dotted. People will look at me as one of their options to take care of the ceremony. So those are things. And then, of course, when I'm in the community, I am helping people. We don't have to go outside of the community. We can go outside of the community. I'm not saying that we should close our borders. See what I said right there? We don't have to close our borders, because even a community itself doesn't have everything. In New York, all the 5 boroughs, those are neighborhoods, those are communities. But does everybody just go to the Bronx to get anything? No. They can go outside, go to downtown to do some things. You get where I'm going with this. So that's the thing about maintaining our stores, our shops, and other businesses. Support women's businesses, support minority businesses, support small family businesses. That doesn't mean that you have to stop going to Target. But think about this, particularly with Target and Amazon. Did you know that 65% of most of the items that you buy from Amazon are created by minority businesses, particularly minority women businesses? I didn't know that. I worked for Amazon for 2.5 years, and I didn't know that. Particularly with Target, when I go into Target during Black History Month or Pride Month or Women's History Month or anything like that, and you see these cards, the books, the clothes, those designers are usually, when I go into Target and I see this, there are pictures and there's a story of the owner. They are normally minorities, minority men and minority women who are doing these things. And so I appreciate Target for allowing minority businesses to have their items being sold in Target. Some of the other things are being done, say, in Macy's and so on. If you see these things, rather than buying something, say, out of the country, support your small businesses in your community, because that money will stay in the community. That's another thing. That money stays in the community. If you go outside of your community, or if you order something online, and then I look to see if this is an Amazon creation and shipped by Amazon, which means you can get it faster, and normally it could be a little cheaper. But I look to see if it's shipped by Amazon, but it's created by who, and I'll look to see if it's a small business. And if it is, I may be able to order it. Now, the other side of this is sometimes it's more expensive to buy something from a small business. That's just one of the negatives of this. It is what it is, because it is expensive to do your own business. I've started this process once I started getting my Social Security benefits because I don't have a job. I lost my job back in February, and that's one reason why I'm back in Charlotte, because I would have been homeless. And I have applied for 145 positions. That's something for a different day. But I think I'm having some type of ageism, because some of the things that I applied for, I could do it in my sleep. Um, but some people are saying, well, they don't know who I am. But I have a LinkedIn profile that I put on my resume, so they can go there. They can see who I am. They can see, they can kind of like average how old I am based on my college degree when I graduated from college. And I'm not ashamed to be in my 60s. I'm not. I'm not. What everybody says, and sometimes I say, black don't crack. But black doesn't stop gray. But getting back to the topic, I had to pivot. And so, because my Social Security benefits are not enough, I'm learning how to manage it, but it's not enough. And so I'm going to have to apply for grants. I may be able to get a small business loan, but that's the second option because I have to get some money coming in to create my business credit, because this stuff is under my company. And so hopefully people will be reaching out to me in this area of Charlotte. I can, because right now I don't have a car, and so part of the grants could help my company get a car for my business. And that way I can drive to my clients rather than having my clients come here. And so right now I'm in the training process, but I am going to launch in January. But some of the YouTube videos I was looking at about businesses, one of them that I'm using to get my business paperwork done, just go ahead and get it done. Just get it done. And that's your mojo. That is the energy that you're going to get every day now. Now your business is set up, so now you got to get it done. And so, again, with cooperative economics, we have to support each other. My housemate and his sister are thinking about opening a company that does tax liened buyouts, that takes care of governments selling of their houses, that they can go ahead and rent it out to low income people for housing, because right now there's a housing issue in this country. Even in the city of Charlotte, 14th largest city, there are a lot of people here, but the housing is expensive. Even when I came back and I was just looking to see if I could get a 2-bedroom apartment, and that way 1 bedroom would be my office, and then I can have people come over to my house, even though I will have a business address, to make it easier for them. But the average 2-bedroom apartment in Charlotte, North Carolina is $1,600 a month. That $1,600 rent amount is more than I get from Social Security. Yes, because I took it early. As being 62, I took it early. And I didn't have the luxury to wait until 67, which is the full retirement age. But that's something else for another video. But you get what I'm saying. Support small businesses. Support businesses that are owned by the employees. Some of the grocery stores. Support those. Support some of the small groceries. Now, granted, just like I said, sometimes it's more expensive. But if you don't do that, those businesses can go away, and then the money that people use to buy products in that business, that money stays in the community. Particularly the nonprofits, that money stays in the area. So just look around this. Don't wait until Small Business Saturday in 2025. don't necessarily wait until Black History Month when some of the minority small businesses are being spotlighted. I don't think mine will be spotlighted at that time unless I become the member of the Black Chamber of Commerce and the regular Chamber of Commerce. The state, the state of North Carolina, has a minority business liaison, and you can get mentors to help you with your businesses. Not every state has that, and not every city has that. But support these, particularly some of those festivals that you see, the Pride Festival, Juneteenth, the Irish Parade, some of the Jewish holidays. Some of those small businesses are putting their products out. Support them. Support them, because it's hard. It's hard, and this is the economy that we're in. And particularly if you see a small business in your neighborhood, support them. Support them. Now, I will say this: not every business is about the community, even a small business. Not everyone, not everyone is your friend. But not everyone is your enemy either. So set aside those prejudices and start looking around at our own shops and businesses. Support them. Did you know that? And I learned this when I was living in Kansas City, in the coffee industry, particularly with coffee beans, in the United States, and particularly in the Kansas City area. Before 2023, there were no minority business owners in the coffee house industry. None. None. And in 2023, in Kansas City, there was a local guy who's a Black man. He was a football player locally, and he was handicapped. He only had one arm really to use. And so once he came back from the military, he opened a coffee house. And since I was in HR and I, with Amazon, and I was one of the officers of BEN, the Black Employee Network, I went to that coffee house, had a couple of conversations with him, and promoted his business in our meetings. Had to get approval for my regional office, but I got some of his paraphernalia, his flyers and business cards, and put them at my HR desk. And every time somebody comes up, I ask them, "Did you know anything about this?" My HR manager loves coffee, and she didn't know that. And so she started buying her beans from them, and so on. This is cooperative economics. And so then he told me about two friends who got into the bean part of the industry, getting the coffee beans to him. He has some special beans, and particularly with me, I have to drink decaf coffee, and it's hard to find. It is such a thing, but there are decaf beans. And he was able to connect me with them, and then because I ordered it every month, they decided, instead of shipping it to me, they decided to have the beans sent to the coffee house. And then before I went to work or after I got off work, if he was open, depending on my shift, I would go there and just buy my beans from them. Again, keeping the money in the community and still supporting small businesses. So you get what I'm saying. That's what cooperative economics means. That's also how they share the profits. They may set aside some money for donations to different nonprofits. My nephew is a firefighter, and so one thing that I have in my mind is to help the local firefighters here. He's not here. He is a firefighter in Los Angeles. I'm very, very proud of my nephew for that. Largest firefighter group in the country. And I'm very proud of him for that. But that's just something that you can think about. And maybe this conversation that we're having right now um, may um, may start you thinking about owning your own small business. Or maybe you can think about someone in your circles who have small businesses and you never thought about um, helping them promote themselves or turning their things out. One of the things that I'm going to do this week is, particularly with my neighborhood, my housemate and I were talking about that there are people in the neighborhood who have services that that some of the people in the neighborhood don't know that they can get. And so there is a family down the street who has their own tree service company. And I took a picture of their truck because I was trying to find a website for them to see if I could get an estimate for some trees in the backyard. Since I'm not working, I'm at home, I can take some of this stuff from my housemate and get that done. Well, other things happen, it's set aside. Well, then they put flyers in the mailbox, and then I called them to get an estimate, and they came out. And so, again, money is staying in the neighborhood. It's setting up. It's helping them with their small business. And one of the things that I'm going to do is create a next door site and see if the HOA president here can send that out to everybody to see if they have small businesses, and then I can add that to next door, and then that will be public, and then everybody can see what the services are. Could even help me as a notary public. And that is cooperative economics. I'm getting a little excited about just talking about it. But that is the principle. That is the principle. Cooperative economics, supporting our shops, supporting our small businesses, supporting small businesses on the outer edges of our community. But it's not going to be perfect. We're still going to have to reach out to the main communities to get some things. But those conversations, if there's something that you want and you go to a small shop, and you know that you're going to be going to that small shop and they don't have an item that you would like, that the only time that you can get it is online, there's a possibility that that shop can get it, and then you won't have to order it and wait it for delivery. You can just go to the shop and get it. That's what cooperative economics means. And so think about that. Think about that on this Sunday. And then forward, and think about what you can do in 2025 to support, because this is part of the United States economy. Small businesses support our economy. During the last, I would say, when I looked at Governor Cooper is the governor of North Carolina, during the last year or so of his last term, I believe in North Carolina, over 100,000 small business applications were processed. I believe with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, in the last 2 years, no, in the last year before the election, more than 1 million small business applications were processed. And a lot of people think that small businesses don't support the economy in the United States. Yes, they do. But again, it's hard, and you have to figure out, get the idea manifested, figure out what it is of your skills that you can do. Particularly if you feel like you're in a job that doesn't appreciate you. You're not, one thing that I saw, they said, if you're not learning and you're not earning, it's time for you to go. If it's one or the other or both of them, you need to go. Well, then if you need to go, where is your money coming from? Small business. Maybe another job, but a small business. Or you can launch a small business on the side while you're doing your major job, and then once it's popping, hand in your notice, and then your small business is your full-time job, and it will be a full-time job. But again, Ujamaa-Cooperative Economics. And I hope you learned something today. Even when I was talking, I was learning some things, and that's when you saw that I was getting a little excited about it. So tomorrow we're going to talk about day 5's principle, which is Nia or Naya, purpose. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's another holiday week, another short week. If I don't see you, and if you don't view the next video on Monday and Tuesday, Happy New Year to you. Peace.